What is up, everybody? We have 4 couples left on this season of Married at First Sight. If you want to talk about that trash person, we gave her her own video where we can all go trounce on her. So jump over there. Maybe I'll put a link or something in this. Who knows? But I just want to dedicate a video to our other 4 couples because I feel like we have a lot going on there, which is being completely overshadowed by the one failed marriage. All right, let's jump into our first couple of the evening, and that is going to be Lindsay and Mark. This relationship has been an absolute roller coaster. I think Lindsay's personality is just an absolute roller coaster, and it kind of feels like as Lindsay goes, this relationship goes. Add into that all the turmoil that's going on in Mark's personal life, and it is a recipe for a disaster. You know, we start the episode with that moment of Lindsay and Mark laying in bed, and she looks like an absolute nightmare of a human being to share a bed with, relationship or not. She was going bananas. She was going absolutely berserk in that bed, like flipping covers, flopping on Mark, and ridiculous. I honestly had forgotten about the bedbug situation, and there was a split second there where Mark and Lindsay showed up in hazmat suits, and I was like, what in the hell is going on? And then it dawned on me, like, oh right, his place is infested with bed bugs. What a brutal thing to come back to. Mark's apartment, you know, these visits are supposed to be quite fun. His apartment's like already decimated. I think the majority of his furniture was already gone, presumably thrown out, or at least sent somewhere to be decontaminated and debugged. And, you know, all I can really take away from his apartment is, holy, does he have quotes on his walls. Like every 3 or 4 feet was a new quote. I guess this is the male version of Live, Laugh, Love. I don't personally want any words on my walls anywhere. I don't care what they say. Don't put words on my walls. My walls are for, well, actually, I got this thing. Let's do like a mini tilt back there. You know, that thing's badass. That can go on my wall, but get your inspirational crap off my wall. Where was I? Lindsay hitting Mark with the, does it bring you joy? I forget the lady's name. If somebody knows, just put it in the comments. It's like Marie Condon or something like that. Does it bring you joy? She just keeps hitting him with that. It's like, lady, this guy's going through like a brutal moment where he has to dispose of or decontaminate like everything he owns, and you're just going around like, hey, can I throw this out? Can I throw this out? Can I throw this out? Does it bring you joy? Can I throw this out? Does it bring you joy? Not helping the situation. Like, that looked hard for Mark, like terrible. Like, you don't want to just be like, oh, hey, your entire house, your entire home, everything you own is infested with bed bugs. And then on top of it, to have somebody just like nagging at you constantly the whole time, awful. And then we jump over to Lindsay's apartment. Lindsay loves her plants. I don't really know if we need to say anything more about that apartment. She really loves her plants. They've got names. I think 2 are named after characters from The Office. 1 was named after herself. Like, who knows? Like, if you made some sort of positive impact on Lindsay's life, she named a plant after you. And you know what? If she named one after me, I wouldn't be that mad at her. Back to their apartment. We gotta talk about the cat. We gotta talk about the cat in the room. Who the hell gave that cat the haircut? You know what I'm talking about. Everybody saw it. There was a goddamn cat walking around with like a poodle haircut. Like, what is the deal? I don't remember. I assume it's Mark's cat, and it must be some reference to Cobra Kai. And I honestly apologize to everybody for not being able to find all the Cobra Kai Easter eggs that they've been planting in these episodes, because there has to be one like every 2 seconds with Mark the Shark around. But what? You can't cut a cat's hair like that. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Looks funny, but illegal. Mark's life has been turned upside down, and on top of it is it's driving Lindsay insane. Like, I thought that the tipping point for this relationship was 100% going to be one-sided and going to be Lindsay just ruining the relationship. And now the script has been flipped, and it's Mark's behavior that is ruining the relationship. Ever since he said he wanted to pull back, he wanted to slow down, sounded like they went from having sex to not even holding hands, like went from 100 to 0, which can't be good. Like, things seem very, very awkward for them. And this, I would say, would be the couple that probably potentially benefited the most from having Pastor Cal come in. I'm of the opinion that these experts need to be doing this more. They need to be intervening in crisis situations. They need to be available for when there are problems. Plus, they should probably be, at minimum, doing a weekly visit. I don't know exactly what interaction they have with the couples, but it needs to be more, because we have couples this season where already a weekend problems are starting to fester, and these individuals don't know how to solve those problems, and that's part of the reason why they've not had successful relationships in the past. Where were we? Went on a little side tangent there. Anybody else notice Lindsay turns real mean real quick when things don't go her way? And like, her behavior immediately justifies everything Mark said about being afraid to express his feelings to Lindsay, because he expresses his feelings and that is her immediate reaction. I wish Pastor Cal would have jumped on that a little bit more, because that is going to be the downfall of this relationship. Mark just does not like that meanness and the confrontational side of Lindsay, and those are the qualities that Mark does not 100% does not need in his life. Like, if Lindsay was high energy but just didn't have that meanness in her and wasn't so confrontational, like didn't provoke incidents like we had on the plane. Also, I wonder if she was telling everybody that they need to speak English when they came back. Never mind. Let's not go there. But those are the qualities that are going to end this relationship. It's not Mark and Mark being cold. It's like Mark and not being able to handle Lindsay being mean and confrontational, because those are two qualities that he does not want in his life. Sometimes it's hard to pair the passive with the aggressive, and this, in my opinion, is one of those situations. Oh wow, we spent a lot of time talking about Mark and Lindsay. Let's move on. Katina and Isaac. We start the episode and Isaac is immediately on Katina about cooking for him. Later in the episode, he tries to say to Pastor Cal that, oh, it's not a deal breaker. I'll cook sometimes. But all we hear is, I expect a warm meal on the counter when I get home from work. That's what we're hearing. That's what we're seeing. These aren't sounding like playful little jabs at Katina. they sound like demands and expectations. And we even hear Isaac say that he has expectations for his wife. He has a level of expectations for his wife. And I just don't like it. And if he can't correct his behavior, it's going to be the downfall of the relationship. For the whole cooking thing, to me, Isaac comes off as an absolute dickhead. And Isaac, if you want a home cooked meal, get off your ass and cook yourself a home cooked meal. Isaac, you thought your place was so awesome. We're so pumped to show it to Katina, and it was pretty plain, pretty boring at best. The coffee curtains, I don't know what those were. Like, I don't even think that 30 years ago my grandma would have had those coffee curtains and thought that they were stylish and in fashion. And he tried to justify it as, well, I make the best cup of coffee, so I need coffee curtains. What? No, I'm the best at making fun of that person in the other video. I'm not going to get curtains of her. A little side tangent there. Katina said she doesn't deal with men who speak to her disrespectfully. And I think we've had numerous situations this season where Isaac has spoke to her disrespectfully. So it would seem to me that Katina, actually, you do deal with men who talk to you disrespectfully because you're currently doing it. It almost is starting to feel like she's kind of trapped in this relationship. Like she wants it to be good, wants it to be great, and not really willing to see all of the red flags that we are all seeing. I honestly don't think Isaac has a clue what a relationship is at this point, and that could be a big problem moving forward. He probably should have been on the Unmatchables and not on Married at First Sight. Yeah, I just don't see, this marriage is just not going to work. Even if they say yes on decision day, by the time we hit reunion, this thing will be done. Next up, we have Noy and Steve. First thing, Steve sleeps with socks on, so we no longer trust him. That's a hard line in the sand. You don't go to bed with no socks on. What, are you a madman? That's not okay. And next, Steve, he's not a dog person. Got a confession, also not a dog person, but I don't think to the same degree as Steve here. Like, I'm not gonna pick up a steaming warm dog poo. It's just not, that's not something I'm gonna do in my lifetime. I'm not doing it. Like, cold I can handle, but I'm not putting my hand in a thin plastic bag and then grabbing a warm poop. I'm just not doing it. It grosses me out. I'm not doing it. But on the other hand, like, that aside, I'm fine with the dog in the bed. I sleep with the dog in the bed every night, and I'm okay with that. The dog just lays there. It doesn't matter where the dog is. Like, if the dog's stealing your pillow, okay, maybe that's not good. If it's an enormous dog and the dog's kicking you off the bed, okay, maybe that's not good. But Sushi was just a little cute tiny dog. You can handle having Sushi on the bed. When you want your alone time, just lock Sushi out of the room. We saw there are like 50 other Sushi beds in the house. Sushi will be fine. How about those party lights at Steve's apartment? They looked perfect for Noisy, but Noisy didn't quite seem to like them. So maybe she isn't this party girl that she tried to lead on. The 3 kids thing, very weird. I totally get it. Your plan can be, hey, let's aim for 3 kids. But you don't know what's going to happen on your journey. You do not know. There are so many variables, whether it be you're not able to have kids, Like Steve brought up, maybe you have a kid that has needs that exceeded what you were prepared for. You know, maybe your financial situation is, hey, we're great with one kid, but we add in another kid and we're not going to be able to provide a great life for that child. And then on top of that, the job situation, it's probably going to be what ends this relationship. I just the way I feel about Steve is he doesn't want to work the normal 9 to 5, and honestly, we're moving towards a generation that isn't going to work normal 9 to 5s, that isn't going to be going into the office every day. They're going to have different ways of making money. Look, I'm on here making videos in hopes that one day I can get a couple bucks from making videos. There are millions of other people out there just like me doing some sort of side hustle or side gig, some creative line of work or entrepreneurial whatever. And that is going to be the new reality. A generation of influencers and TikTokers and YouTubers. There are just more ways to sustain a good living than a 9 to 5. And I really don't think that everyone has a firm grasp on that and everyone is accepting of that, especially when, you know, if Steve does want to pursue other things, like I forget everything that he listed. It was like website making, videography, photographies, things along those lines. Like it will take him a while to get established in doing that, but absolutely he can be successful and provide for his family and be happy doing those things. But right now, I don't think that Noy sees that. And in 7 weeks from now, I don't think that Noy will see that then either. So, my opinion, this is probably our best relationship that we have left standing. But I think the job situation is going to be the downfall of the relationship. Lastly, we have Jasmina and Michael. Right out of the gate, Jasmina not staying at the apartment. That's not going to be good. You know, she's trying to say that it's about her dog. I'm just very glad that Michael expressed that he wasn't happy about her not staying there. You know, tried to say the dog this, the dog that, and we soon find out it wasn't the dog. And Jasmina wanted some time away from Michael. Even if the dog situation was so dire, she could have invited him with her. Like, there would have been no problem with that. Hey, I got to go to my place and deal with this dog situation. Why don't you come with me? And that is not what happened. So it wasn't about the dog. The Michael and his roommate situation was weird. Like, there's been numerous times where it would have been more than appropriate for him to share that he has a female roommate, and for him not to do that, it was weird. And then like not admit that he was living with 2 women. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's not, like, honestly, it's probably better that you live with 2 women than it is that you live with 1. And for him to try to hide that just feels very weird, and honestly just makes me think, like, what else is this man hiding? Like, that is my reaction to that situation, is what else are you hiding? Ultimately, this shouldn't have been a big deal, but I understand why Jasmina is making it a big deal. On to Pastor Cal. Jasmina is saying that Michael talks to her disrespectfully while talking to him disrespectfully. Jasmina says that Michael talks to her aggressively while talking to him aggressively. Jasmina says that he's condescending while being condescending. Very, very, very hypocritical display here. Even if everything that she's saying is true, this was not the way to handle it. And I think that Pastor Cal probably left them in a worse state than where they started. Like, the only real advice that he said was, don't talk at her. Like, that was it. And I'm like, you needed to go in a little deeper than that, Pastor Cal, because these two are having issues. And they're not going to resolve those issues just on their own. Like, they need the expert help. They're not getting the expert help. Why do we even have experts on this show? And another tactic, Pastor Cal trying to get Jasmina to forgive Michael. Like, it's just not going to be an effective tactic. Like, we could hear the words she was saying, and that was not forgiveness. And honestly, I don't even think that she should have to be at a place where she forgives what happens. Like, if she's not happy with what happened and there's been nothing done to address that besides, hey Michael, don't talk at her, talk with her. I think Pastor Cal let these two down this week. They needed the help, didn't get it, and it's going to hurt their relationship. Is this an 0 for 5 season, everybody? I think it's probably an 0 for 5 season. That would be 2 seasons in a row with 0 couples. Perfect. That is it for this week. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we will see you later.